what we're going to do now is called composing functions. That means we're going to take one function and we're going to put the answers into another function. The symbol of that is FOG with the X. So basically we're going to take the G function, so we have this G function, and we're going to put it into the F function and see what we have. Now let's understand something about this function. The G function, for example, if the letter, this number 8, is really the X value, that's the X, or often called the domain. And when you do that, you get 15. So this function is, this is also the Y, or called the range. So the G of 8 equals 15. So if we're going to take this whole function and we're going to put it into the F, this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to go F, and I'm going to go G, and in this case, X, which really I'm going to substitute that X with an 8, and that's going to equal 15. Oop, that part's my fault. That part doesn't equal 15. I did that wrong. The G of 8 equals 15, so in reality, the F of function is of 15, but then now we just did the G, so we just did the inside part by using this, which equals this. It's just substitution, and now I can take my F15 and look over here for the F15, which is right there, and it equals 11. So the X value always becomes, it has an input that gives you your Y value, which is why it's called a function. And so we're just substituting one function, this function, into the other. So let's do the next G, which is 5, 1. So our next function has G, which has an X of 5 substituted in. Well, the G of 5 actually becomes the 1, because that's what G of 5 equals. G of 5 equals this 1. And then we can put the 1 back into the F function, which then becomes 8, and that's right here. So all we're doing is substituting one function number for another number into another number. It just kind of repeats. So let's do the pattern again. Let's do the next one, which is 10 and 14. So it's going to be F of G of 10, because that's the X value. But this part right here really equals 14. So I'm going to substitute the 14. So now the G of 10 is gone and becomes 14. And now I can look at the other function, F, look for 14, and there it is. And that equals 9. And then so we have our last one right here, 9 and 0. So I'm going to put F, G of 9. But the G of 9 really is 0, so it's F of 0. And then I go to the 0 up here, and there it is, equals 13. So what I've done is I put one function, that's this, into another function, and then substituted into the original. So now I have these numbers. We have to know what these numbers mean. And what it means is my FOG is, if every time I put 8 from the G function, I will get, and if we look up here, when I put the 8, I get 11. When I put in the 1, or not the 1, the 5, because I'm going to the next X, that's the X, what am I going to get when I get the other function? I'm going to get 8. And then when I put in the 10, I'm going to get 9. And when I put in the 9, I'm going to get 13. So we're substituting one function to the next to get our new answers. So look at these. So our new domain is now 8, 5, 10, and 9. And our range is just the Y values, 11, 8, 9, 13. So when it says state the domain and range of the composed function, it's easier to write it out in ordered pairs, and then from there, pull out your X's and your Y's for your range. So in these problems, we're going to do the same compositions, FOG and GOF, but we need to, we don't have numbers or ordered pairs, we have actual functions. So I'm going to take this function, this function, and I'm going to put it into the other function. So it's going to look like this, F of G X into the other function. So that means I'm going to put this value everywhere I see X in the F function. So I see an A that I'm going to substitute the 4A minus 5. And if I do the math, I'm going to get 8A minus 5. So that is my FOG function. That's what this is. And now I'm going to do the other one, the GOF. So now I'm going to take the G function and substitute with the F. So I'm now going to take, then I'll do another color. I'm going to take this whole part and put it in right there for the A. So I have 4 times 2A minus 5. And if I do the math, I'm going to get our simplification, 8A minus 20. And that is the GOF function. So all I'm doing is substituting one in for the other. And those are what's called compositions. So let's do this one again. So this one is going to be the FOG. I'm going to substitute the G function everywhere I see the X. So I see X squared. So X minus 6 goes in where the X squared is, plus 2. If we simplify that, that's FOIL. So that's X squared minus 12X plus 36 plus 2. And if we simplify that, that's X squared minus 12X plus 38. So that is the FOG. Now if we take and do the GOF, I'm now going to take this F function and substitute it where the X is. So X squared plus 2 goes where the X is, minus 6. And if we simplify that, that's just going to be X squared minus 4. And so there is my answer for the composition of F into G. And here's my composition of G into F.